Allbrands.com, and today we have a special guest, the Reliable Corporation. They manufacture some cool tools for industrial and home sewers. So I hope that you really enjoy this presentation that we're having with Joe and Max from Reliable, and I'll bring them in. Hey guys.
Hey Barbara, how you doing?
Awesome. Let me just say, I love your products. We've been selling Reliable products since the beginning. Can you tell us a little bit about your company?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Joe and this is Max, and we're representing Reliable Corporation. Reliable's been around for a long time. We've been around since 1955, and we started off as a used sewing machine company. So where we're located, we're a Canadian company, and we're here in Toronto. And where our building actually is, used to be surrounded by what used to be the apparel industry of North America. And as everyone knows, that kind of shipped overseas, a few decades ago. And so we had to change gears a bit. So we used the knowledge we had from, our founder working in tailor shops and all the contacts he made there to shift gears and get into steam. So we went from industrial sewing machines into steam, and that opened up a whole world of new products, from steam irons that we're going to show you here today, to steam cleaners, garment steamers, both on the domestic and commercial side of things. And then, we've been around for a long time, so we've come up with a lot of other cool stuff as well, like our LED lighting that we'll be talking to you about later as well. Another really cool thing is, so Max is the most recent member of our sales team here, and it was actually his grandfather who started the company. So we now have a third generation of Kahns here at Reliable, so that's pretty exciting.
Oh, that's wonderful. I knew you guys were a family-owned and operated business, and I've met Robert, and I'm so happy to meet you, Max.
Yeah, no, it's an absolute pleasure to be here, and I'm very excited to be chatting about our products today.
Yeah, whenever I think of Reliable products, and I'll stop talking because we have a lot of products to show.
Yeah, no, that's okay.
The first things that come to mind is that you have great product support, and they're extremely good quality, very well priced in comparison to other brands, and you have like a very vast assortment of products that are available for sewers.
Yes, we do. We try to get our customers, everything that they need to be able to get the job done.
Awesome. So everybody, while you're watching the video, we'll have the prices up on the screen as we go through each product. If you're interested in any of them, please click the link in the description of this video. We'll also include it in the comments section of this video. And also wait till the end, because we will have a special coupon code available on the screen. And also, I have a giveaway. So if you comment during this video, hashtag Allbrands, ALLBRANDS, then you will be eligible to win a $50 Allbrands.com e-gift card. So stay tuned through the end to be eligible to win that. All right, guys. Well, what do we have first?
Very exciting. So I just want to say before I get started, we have a lot of stuff we're trying to get to, and this is just a fraction of the products we do have available. Everything else that we have, I'm going to mention some that aren't here in front of me, but everything's listed on allbrands.com, so you can always go check it out there. So yeah, and if you have any questions during the show, feel free to shout them out. If we're able to, we'll answer that right there on the spot while it's fresh in your mind. If we don't get to you, don't worry. We'll be doing a Q&A session at the end, and we can answer any questions then.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So the first thing I want to talk about is our Velocity 270 IR. So a lot of you probably are familiar with the 260 IR that we had last year, or maybe just familiar with our Velocity irons in general. But these are, we were just in Houston for the quilt market, and the amount of people that came to me saying this is their favorite, like the best iron in the world for quilting, was unimaginable. I've never had so many people come to the booth. I've worked for other companies in the past, and just raved about how much they love their iron. So there's a number of reasons that this iron is so good for quilters. The first of which is that it's got, I'm going to come closer here so you can see a little bit better, but it's got 8 different temperature settings. So no matter what kind of material you're going to be ironing, you just set it to whatever temperature setting you want, and it'll be perfectly safe for that fabric. You can fully adjust the steam Thank you very much, Jane. You can adjust the steam however you'd like as well. And if when in doubt, you can always put it on the auto setting, which is safe for all fabrics. And you never have to worry about burning or shining, anything like that. Now, the reason our iron is so good and will never leak, and you can have those settings where you still get gratuitous amounts of steam without ever having to worry about causing burning or shine, is because we have technology in here we call our compact vapor generator, and it acts like a mini boiler inside. So I've actually got a cross section here of a velocity iron that we chopped open, so you can kind of see what's going on. I'm not going to get too technical, but basically all you need to know is that this red area here is like a mini boiler. So what happens with a traditional iron is you pull the trigger for your steam, and your sole plate's really hot, and the water sprays on the sole plate, and because it's so hot, it turns into steam. The problem with that is if you're spraying a lot, eventually that water is going to cool down your sole plate to the point where the water will no longer evaporate when it touches the sole plate, and that's how you get leaking. Because we have our compact vapor generator, the water actually goes in here first and is evaporated into steam, building up pressure inside the compact vapor generator. So then when you go to activate your steam, it simply just pours out the bottom. So regardless of how hot your sole plate is, it's never going to leak because the steam doesn't need to touch it to heat up. So you can have huge amounts of steam with a low temperature, meaning if you're doing a delicate fabric, you can have all the steam you want, get rid of those wrinkles because it's steam that removes wrinkles, not heat, and you don't have to worry about burn or shine. Other advantages of that, of course, are that you get even heating all the way across the sole plate. So whereas with those other ones, if you got water spraying in one particular spot, that's going to get cool, the rest is going to get hot, it's going to get too hot to compensate, and then again, you're at the high risk of burning. Another cool thing the Velocity 270 IR has is an anodized aluminum sole plate. So that means I can take these keys and I can scratch the sole plate, sorry about your ears, and you don't have to worry about it. It will never scratch. So of course, the idea of an iron isn't to take keys to it, but if you're ironing over zippers or buttons or anything like that, you don't have to worry about it getting scratched and then snagging fabric down the line. One of my favorite features about the Velocity irons, and again, this is the 270, we also have the 240, and I'll explain the difference in a second. But one of my favorite features is the fact that this handle, if you can see, I don't know if I can get it with the light, but anyway, it says sensor on it. And what that means is there's no trigger for steam. So I don't have to actually pull any button or anything like that to get steam. If I have the steam on, as long as my hand is touching the handle, it'll automatically steam. And then when I put it down, then it stops steaming. Grab it again, and it steams. So you don't have to worry about any finger fatigue or anything like that. So yeah, so this is our 270 IR, replacing the 260 IR. If you want to, there's hardly any difference. We changed the color a little bit, made a couple minor quality improvements, but it's the same fantastic iron. We also have our 240, which I don't have in front of me right now.
Hey guys, we have two questions that came in on that, and I wanted to make sure that we got those.
Sure.
Weird. Brenda asked, how much does this iron weigh?
It weighs 4 pounds.
Awesome. And Lori asked, do you have an iron that doesn't have auto shut off?
I am so glad you asked, Lori. So this is it. So both our 240 IR and our 270 IR, one of the biggest reasons that quilters love them so much is because they do have the automatic shut off feature, because that is a safety feature, so you don't leave your iron on and leave the house. But it does have the ability to bypass it. So if I hold down this steam button for 5 whole seconds, you'll hear a beep and it will disable the auto shut off. So I know when you're quilting, you're working on something, you come to iron for a little bit, put your iron down, go back, do some more work, come back to it. It's frustrating when your iron's turned off and you got to wait for it to turn on again, and then you just have a bunch of downtime that's just wasting time. Turn off the auto shut off, like you just mentioned, Lori, and that's no longer an issue. You come back to your iron, do your ironing, and away you go. You don't have to wait for it.
And the questions keep coming in. Cheryl Squirrel, I hope I pronounced that correctly. I have hard water. Can I use that with this?
Another great question, Cheryl. So the answer is, I don't recommend it. So I will say no. And the reason is because with any iron, if you're putting hard water in it, you get scale buildup, you get clogging. your iron's still going to work, but it's going to greatly reduce its lifetime. We recommend using distilled water in any appliance that uses water, really. But yeah, if you use distilled water in this, it's got a built-in filter, so it will get rid of some stuff. But it will, again, using distilled will greatly improve the lifetime of your iron. So it'll last as long as it possibly can.
Thank you so much. And we also have Carolyn chimed in. She said, our daughter has that iron and loves it. Brenda is all about the no auto shut off. I agree. Yes. You can't have, like, in the middle of your sewing project, your iron shut off.
Exactly. It throws off your groove, right?
Yeah. And yes, big thumbs up.
Perfect. So the only other thing I wanted to say, if you're confused between the 270 and the 240, the only difference is, like, they both have auto shut off, they both have the sensor steam handle, everything, they both have the compact vapor generator. Only difference is the number of settings. So again, quilters and sewists love the 270 IR because it's got the 8 different temperature settings. Our 240 IR only has 2. So it has our auto, which is safe for all fabrics, and it has our turbo for when you want to kick it into high gear. If you're somebody who you're just ironing like dress shirts or something like that all the time, honestly, that's what I have at home. I have the 240 at home. It's great for me. I don't use a lot of different fabrics. So yeah, so that's the only difference between those two irons.
Oh my gosh, that's so awesome. Thank you. So we're getting a lot of questions about water, so maybe we should talk about that a little bit more.
Sure.
Jennifer asks if Brita filtered water will work, and Erin asks what if she has a water softener system. Judy asks what about spring water. What are our options?
So it's not like there's right and wrong, like there's not good and bad water. It's a spectrum, right? So if you're using like well water, depending on your area, tends to be the hardest. That's going to cause scale build up the fastest, and cause your iron to have its lowest amount of lifetime. Every level of filtering you do is going to help. It's going to be better, but we recommend distilled water because that has no, like, then it's pure water. There's no particulates in it, and your iron's going to last for its maximum lifetime. So, you know, a Brita is going to take out some things, not all things, but it will be better than using the water before you put it in the Brita. A water softener uses salt, so there's salt in the water, so there's still particles. And depending on your system, it might add stuff back in, or I mean, there's different systems out there. So the answer is those would be better, but we still recommend distilled is the best.
Great, thank you. All right, what's next?
Sure. So next, since we're on the home iron topic, I'm going to talk about our Maven. So if you are looking for a great home iron, but you just don't think the water capacity of the velocity is going to be enough for you, it's 300 mils, which is pretty standard for a home iron. But if you were planning on ironing all day and you just have a ton of volume to go through, a Maven is something that you might want to look at. So this is the 140 IS. We also have the 125 IS, but it has a 1.5 liter water tank. So you can fill this once basically and iron for hours. It's also got a removable filter in here, so that filters off if you're not using distilled. If you are, again, we do recommend distilled. You don't have to use it, but we do recommend it. If you use distilled, you'll never have to replace this filter. But anyway, it does have a replaceable filter there. And then you just pop this open, fill it up. Even if it empties out, you pop it off, fill it up, bring it back, snap it on, and away you go. This is different than the Velocity. It doesn't have the compact vapor generator. Instead, it uses a pump system. So the water is pumped through the hose and sprays onto the sole plate, and that's how you get your steam there. This does have a trigger for steam, so it's not the sensor handle, and it is a digital control panel on the back, which I don't have it plugged in right now, so you can't see. But that's how it's activated. It's got 4 different temperature settings on this guy. So all in all, if you're asking yourself, should I go with the Velocity? Should I go with the Maven? My recommendation for most people is the Velocity every time. But if you are somebody who likes to do long periods of ironing, then the Maven is for you. There's lots of people that love the 140 IS. If you're wondering the differences between the Maven 125 IS and the 140 IS, only difference is the water capacity. This is 1.5 liters. This is our best seller. The Maven 125 IS is 1 liter, so it's 33% less capacity.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Let me see if we have any questions.
Sure.
Laurie Scott asks, oh, this is a great question. What is the lifetime of this iron?
So that is a question we get a lot. I'd say every day we get that question. It depends how you treat it, as with anything. Like what's the lifetime of a car? If you're taking it for proper maintenance and you're not driving it into the ground, and if you get a scratch in it, you go and make sure it gets repaired right away. That's probably a bad analogy because you're not going to need repairs on your iron. But you get what I'm saying. If you take care of your product, it's going to last for its maximum lifetime. I personally have had I actually have the 230 IR, which was the precursor to the 240. I've had it for about 6 years now, and it still works for me. I don't iron a ton. I will say I don't iron a ton, but I use distilled water in it all the time. I empty the water out when I'm done, and yeah, they can last a long time for sure. If you're using the hard water, if you're not emptying it out when you're done using it, obviously if you drop it or anything like that, that's going to all affect it. Or if you're somebody who irons like 8 hours a day, then of course it's not going to have as long a lifetime as mine. So it really depends on what you're using your iron for, and then how you're using it.
I love it. Okay, so we have another question, or some comments actually. Brenda says, I used to have an iron with a separate water tank. I love that thing. Yeah, so there are many benefits to having a separate water tank. Much easier to fill, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And here's one from Paula Becker. Some irons tell you not to use distilled water in them. I don't understand why.
That is interesting. I can't comment. Ours don't say that.
All right. And Terry Young has the Maven. She says that's her favorite.
Perfect.
Good. And Brenda asks, or says, love that ironing board.
Excellent. Well, thank you for that, Brenda, because Max is just about to tell us about the ironing board.
Right on time, Brenda.
Yeah, so I'm really excited to be talking about. So this is our brand new 350 LB. In fact, I believe we actually just launched this yesterday. Just a little bit of a recap. Some of you may notice that this looks very similar to one of our other ironing boards. We actually have another board out called the 320 LB, which is a 2-in-1 ironing board. So it actually has a end that is tapered normally, and then you have an extension which you can attach on, which makes it look more like this. Now, with that being said, the 350 LB is our first ironing board that is specifically designed for quilters. So I'm extremely excited to be talking about it. In terms of the area in which you can press, it's a 52-inch by 19.5-inch area. The cover is made out of our Vera foam material, which is also a really exciting feature. So basically, with Vera foam, it's a high-quality memory foam, and what's really great about it is that it actually molds to the shape of the table itself. So what that means is that once you put it on, you get it nice and tight. It's going to really just mold into it, and there won't be any wrinkles, which is fantastic. Also, what's great about Vera foam is that it's lightweight as well as breathable. And that's really important because when you're ironing, the last thing you want is for the steam to get trapped in the cover. So with the Vera foam, when you're ironing, the steam is going to pass right through. So that's absolutely no problem there. Actually, speaking of the iron experience, Alex, do you want to maybe just quickly pass over the extension? The extension right there. Yes, I want to show off. So this is the extension to our 320 LB here, but this is the same kind. So this is actually made out of galvanized steel. So this is an anti-rust material. It's really high quality. It's really sturdy, and you can see it's a mesh. It's a mesh shape here. So this is the exact same thing that's underneath the cover here. So when you're steaming, that steam is going to pass right through the cover, right through the mesh, and at the bottom. So no worries about moisture in your table. Okay, besides the cover, I also wanted to briefly point out the Kahn heat resistance zone. So this is a really exciting feature. This material is actually the same material that's used in firemen suits. So it is, it's really heat resistant. And what's really exciting about it is so that when you're ironing, it's a hassle, to iron and then have to rest your iron on the ironing rest. And over time, it can lead to fatigue and even pain in your wrist. So what's so fantastic about the Zone, this area right here, is that after you're done ironing, simply rest it on the Zone here. It is heat resistant, and you can just leave it there, for as long as you like. So that's quite exciting. Moving on to the iron rest here. So this is something that all of our ironing tables have. You can see it's really sturdy. It can support even a really heavy ironing station like this. What's really exciting about this one in particular, though, is that we've added a new feature where it can be removed. Because we know for some of you, you'd rather have your iron on your table or on a stand, for example, and say you want to save a bit of space. So now this iron rest, you basically just unscrew the screws down here, and you can slide it out very simply. Another really exciting feature with this table is the retractable storage. So we really want to have this as your workspace, as a space that you have everything you need right here, and so you can use this for all your extra materials and your tools. Moving on to the bottom here, I wanted to point out the 2 wishbone structure on the legs. And so what's really important about that is that when you're ironing, you want to make sure your table is not rocking. And with this wishbone structure, this table is super sturdy. It's not moving at all. Yeah, besides that, it's a fantastic table, a fantastic build quality, and we have so much faith in it that that's why we offer a 10-year warranty on the frame.
That's wonderful, Max. Oh my gosh. So Lori says, I have that board and it is great. Yes, we have it in a lot of our retail stores in the classrooms, and the surface area is just amazing. Yeah. Carolyn asks, can you get ironing board covers?
Yes, absolutely. So we do sell the ironing board cover as additional accessory.
Yeah, those should be available on Allbrands as well.
Yes. Yeah. All right, and just a lot of comments on how great that table is. So is there an extender available for it?
Sorry, go ahead.
So no. So this is just one piece.
Okay.
And yes, it's just this. Yeah.
Yeah. So for anyone who's confused, like Lori, I know you said you have this board already. You probably have the 320. So the 320 is a tapered, like it's tapered by default, and then you put that extension that Max was holding up earlier on the end. So that's the 320. We still have that available. But if you don't need that tapered end and you're just using it for the larger surface, this is a brand new board that just launched on Allbrands today, allbrands.com today. That is just the one piece. It's a solid board all the way across, and it gives you that big ironing surface. So there is no extension for this one.
All right. And for the extender that is available for the other board, is it available for different models of ironing boards? Besides
Alex, you want to pass that again, please?
That's a great question. Yeah.
So this is the extension piece for the 320 LB that goes on to make it into the rectangular shaped longboard. It would fit on if you had our 220 IB board, it would fit on that one. But I mean, perhaps there's other boards out there that I'm not aware of that would have the same shape that it would fit on. But generally, it's just made for reliable boards.
Okay, good. That's great to know. Thanks, guys.
You're welcome.
All right. I think that's all the questions that we have so far. Looks like next is the 5100.
Okay, sounds good. So yes, so some other products that I've launched. So they talked about the domestic irons over here. Sounds like a lot of you are familiar with them already. If you have your own business, or you just iron for hours a day, or you just really want something that's going to give you pressurized steam and just blast through your ironing as fast as possible with a professional grade mid-Italy boiler, we just did launch 2 new ironing stations. So we've always had our 3000 IS. That's kind of like our borderline between the domestic user as well as the commercial user. It's a 1.4 liter tank. What I want to show you today is this is our 4100 IS. So this is replacing our previous 4000. So this is a 2.2 liter capacity, and it'll give you up to 50 psi of steam pressure. So that is well above what any domestic iron will give. I mean, these are great irons, but if you're looking for pressurized steam that's just going to blast through the fabric, be super, super dry, relax those wrinkles in an instant with one pass over, that's where this comes in. So these are made in Italy, like I said, and this replaces the 4000 IS. The differences between this and the 4000 IS, we made some major improvements. Number one, we went from an internal heating element that actually sat in the water to an external heating element. So now it's outside of the boiler. There's a few reasons that's a good thing. Number one, it's going to I mean, these things last for years and years as it is if they're taken care of. But with the external heating element, now you don't have to worry about scale buildup on the element at all because it's completely removed from the tank. It means their lifetime is going to be drastically improved, and you don't have to worry about replacing the element if you leave water sit in or whatever. It also means that if you run dry, you're not overheating the element and causing damage to it that way either, because it's already removed from the tank. It's not relying on water to help it cool down. The iron is also now hardwired into the boiler, so it's not disconnectable. And it has a new eco mode. So again, if for some people, I know this product might not be the most relevant, but for you on the more professional side, it definitely will be. So if you have your iron sitting there and you want to be using it all day, but you're not really using it all day, you're going to be using it for maybe half an hour, then it's going to be sitting for an hour before you use it for another half hour. We have a new eco mode. So what is good about this, it's a three-way switch here, so you can have the boiler on, where it's going to build up to max pressure, and it's going to hold it there, which is great because it means it's ready to go whenever you need it. You're going to have that nice big burst of steam. However, you're not using it, you can now turn it into eco mode, which is a standby ready state. So it'll hold it at 2 bars of pressure, and so you can use it at that, but it's not really enough steam to do what you want to do. However, when you're ready to use it, you turn it on, and now it's going to heat up in about a minute. In about a minute, it'll be ready, full max pressure of steam, and you don't have to wait the full 10 to 15 minutes for the whole boiler to heat up. While you're doing that, you're also saving about 33% of your energy costs. So it's good for the planet and good for your wallet. So we're really excited about those 2 new features on the 4100 IS. If you're wondering, we've also got the 5100 IS. So this used to be a little bit confusing before. People would always ask us what's the difference between the 4000 and 5000. Now we have more distinct differences. It used to be just the shape, really was the only difference. But now the differences are the 5000 IS, 5100 IS, sorry, I should say, still has the quick connect, disconnect iron. So you can disconnect your iron, put on another attachment if you want. Down the road, if something happens, maybe the thermostat in your iron goes, you need to replace your iron. You don't need to replace the whole thing or send the whole thing back for repairs. You can just attach the iron, swap it out for a new iron, or get the iron repaired and then put it back on. A little bit more convenience that way. It still has the eco mode. You also have the pressure gauge still on the 5100 IS, whereas as you can see on the 4100 IS, you don't have it. That being said, it still has a light indicating when you're at max pressure for your steam. So on the professional side of things, those are fantastic. I thought about turning this on and showing you all just how much steam comes out of it. But the problem with dry steam, as probably a lot of you know already, is the drier it is, dry steam's invisible. You can't see it. So I could hold the button and do this, and it would look exactly the same as what I'm doing right now. But steam would be, I would feel it, but you wouldn't be able to see it. So those are the new developments in our professional ironing stations, the 4100 IS and 5100 IS, which launched last month, and again, they're available on allbrands.com.
That is so exciting. So it looks like we got to see good, better, and best in the iron category for reliable. And oh my goodness, that 5100 that you just showed that's what you see in the professional garment industry and all of the factories. That's what they use, that style of iron, right?
Exactly, absolutely. And we do, I mean, if you check out Allbrands, you'll see our full arrangement. Like, these are actually the entry-level ones, so we say these are good for up to about 4 hours of steam per day. We have ones that go all the way up to 24 hours a day. They'll hook up direct to a water line, and you can run them all day, all night for 3 shifts if you're a factory or something like that. So again, we do we try to bring professional quality to you at home, and that's kind of what we do here at Reliable. So.
Okay. Yeah. So are you a beginner? Are you, professional? Are you an industrial user? If you just want to have the best, just get the 5100. So Renee says, I love the system. And Lori says, I love the tip about overriding the auto shut off. I tried it on my Velocity 160 IR and it's still on. Thank you.
Yeah.
And Rhonda Segrist, hey, asks, what is the wattage difference between the 3 irons?
That's a good question. So I believe the Maven is 1500, if I'm not mistaken. The Velocity is 1750.
1800.
Sorry, 1800. And this is 1800 as well. So, but the difference is, you know, this is all going into the compact vapor generator. This is actually split. So you've got a 1000-watt heating element in the boiler itself that's heating the water, generating your steam there, but you've also got an 800-watt element in the iron. So that's what happens. So it gets nice and hot here. You get your pressurized hot, dry steam, comes through the hose, reheats in the iron before it goes out. So that's what makes it so dry.
All right. And Jennifer asks, can you hear it?
Can you hear
The iron. The iron running, possibly, when it's on?
It's very quiet. Like with the Velocity, you hear a very quiet pumped sound, like kind of like I don't want to say a clicking because it's not really like a clicking, but it's very minor, like when you have your hand on the handle. But most of the sound you hear is just the puff of the steam, like the sound the steam makes as it's going through.
Okay.
With this one, this is virtually silent until you hit the micro switch, and then you'll hear a blast of steam.
Okay, great. Thank you for, and then Paula also says dry steam would be fantastic. And if you guys haven't experienced dry steam, it's very effective and it's not hot and it's actually healthier for the fibers of the material that you're using, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's move on. I know we have a lot to cover today.
Okay.
Looks like the Verve is next.
Sounds good. You want to wheel it up, Max?
Let's wheel this out to the front for better view. So yes, this is the Verve 100 SR. Now, before I get into this, I just wanted to briefly give some historical context. So actually, this machine is inspired off of a machine that's actually existed in Europe for hundreds of years called the Mangle. And so how the Mangle worked was it was like a wooden pin basically, and you would kind of manually have to rotate it. It didn't have steam, it didn't have heat, but you could use it to press your materials basically. Now the thing is, when you want to get rid of wrinkles, you actually want to have that steam. That's really important, and you also want that heat as well. So I like to think of the Verve, as inspired off the Mangle, but in essentially every other way. Improvements, basically. The modern Mangle, you could basically say. The one thing that the Verve also does have in common with the Mangle is that it is manufactured in Europe as well. So it is a very high quality machine. Now, so before I get into too much of the other details about it, actually, Barbara, if you could run that video on the Verve, please. Oh, I think you may be muted.
That thing is amazing. Wow. Imagine how much you can do with that.
Absolutely. Well, so yeah, let me explain a bit more. So with the Verve, you may be wondering, where does it really shine? And I can tell you, if you're looking to press sheets, quilts, napkins, tablecloths, these sorts of things, the Verve is amazing. It is so efficient. It's so fast. It is a real joy to use. So basically, the Verve actually runs on a 110 volt, which is also a really great feature. So basically, you can basically plug it into any wall outlet in your house. And as you saw from the video, you have the water tank right here. And you basically fill up the water tank. You let it heat up. It takes about 9 to 10 minutes to heat up, and you're ready to go. Basically, that's all it takes. Some of the features here. So the steam comes out of the roller right here. You have the hot slow plate down here, and basically, yeah, you're just going to feed your material through. The width of this roller is 33 inches, so it is quite wide and can accommodate a wide variety of different materials. And in terms of the settings, so you have 5 different heat settings from nylon all the way up to linen, as well as 3 different steam settings as well. Another really great feature with this particular machine is, so with some of our competitors, they actually don't have this open space on both sides. And so what's really great about having that open space is that it makes it a lot easier to feed in your material. Also, after it's done pressing, it'll automatically fold your material as well on the other side at the bottom here. So there's no worries about a huge mess on the other side. So some of you may be thinking, wow, this is a fantastic machine, but it's really large. So as you saw from the video, though, it's quite easy to store it. So there's just a button down right here. You just click it, and very simply it folds up very nicely like that. And as you saw from the beginning, it actually is on wheels, so you can just roll this into your closet for easy storage. And that's the Verve.
I love that, and the fact that it has steam, and not all versions of this from different manufacturers have the steam, so that is fantastic, and at this price, just great. Kim says the Verve is awesome. I agree, and we're planting some seeds for our quilters who want to iron like whole bolts of fabric. Which is inspiring them. I could press my quilting fabric super fast.
Yes, you could.
We actually get a lot of orders from the hospitality industry for these, but yes, they are awesome for quilters and people who just want to iron everything really quick. Yes. So here's one question from Roxanne. Can you use starch on fabric and run that through the machine?
That's a good question.
We'll get back to you on
We'll
that.
I'll check that out.
Oh gosh. And Carolyn commented, I have an older mangle that was my grandma's. This would be so much nicer. Yes.
For sure. Modern mangle, yeah.
Yes, this is a fantastic piece of equipment.
Yeah, it's the modern version for sure.
All right. Well, what's next? The SE, the 200 SE.
Yes. Yes. So let me bring that out as well.
So this is actually the Verve. The Verve, you can sit down as you're doing the ironing through the roller. This would be a wonderful companion to that. Also for your sewing spaces.
You've got it.
Absolutely. Okay, so right here is the 200 SE Sew Ergo chair, and this thing is really comfortable. First, I just want to point that out. So we designed this basically with people who are wanting to spend a long time at one particular task. So typically this has been developed for people that are willing to sew, basically, right? So you want to sit down for a long, extended period of time, and you want something that's really comfortable and provides a lot of support. So firstly, I want to just point out the contoured edges on the backrest, as well as, I'm kind of covering it here, also on the seat. It makes it really supportive as well as really comfortable. In terms of adjustability, you have 3 different ways you can adjust the Ergo chair. So you have your classic height adjustability, up and down. A feature that I really love is actually the ability to tilt the backrest. So what's great about this is that, sometimes when you're working, you're going to be hunched over in the front here, but you still want some lumbar support in the back. So what's fantastic about here is I can pop the chair back. You can see, even if I am hunched over, I still have that lumbar support, which is really great. And then lastly, if you'd like to adjust the height of the backrest, you can also do that as well. So that is no problem there. Another great feature about this, so when you're sewing, you don't want to be moving. That's really important, right? And so you can see here at the bottom, let me just lift it up. You can see it's on these glides. So what's fantastic about these glides is that when you're sitting in the chair, you are not going to move anywhere. So you can be feeding your material through, and you're not going to get pushed back. But the second you want to move the chair, because it's on these glides, it actually is quite easy to just slide back and forth. So that is that is really convenient about this chair. Also sold separately are wheels. So for example, if you want to add wheels onto the chair, it's quite a simple procedure of just having to remove the glides on the bottom. You just simply have to pop them out. It takes about a minute, and then you can throw on the wheels. And yeah, that's the 200. Sorry, that's the 200 SE chair.
This chair is very popular. We sell a ton of these on our website, and I think the customers are very, very happy with all the options that they have for, leaning back, going forward, and then the wheels or the glides, and you can really make this chair suit you. So thank you. That's a fantastic chair. All right, so let's see what we have next. Look, guys, we got a comment from Rhonda on that chair. She said, "No thread caught in the wheels then."
Exactly.
That's very true. No wheels.
I can't tell you how many times I'm pulling the thread out of my. Thank you for that, Rhonda. That was so true. So okay, so next we have the Barracuda. That sounds very exciting.
Yeah, for sure. So this workhouse here, so this is taking us a little bit from our industrial sewing world into the domestic market again. So this is our Barracuda sewing machine. So this is a portable zigzag walking foot sewing machine, and it is hefty. It weighs about 35 pounds or so. And it is, for those of you who know what a walking foot is, it's made for medium to heavyweight fabric. So this isn't necessarily for doing lighter fabrics like clothing or masks or gowns or anything like that. This is for hobbyists working with heavier materials like leather, for any crafts you may be doing or hobbies or any of your own creations you have. But primarily actually who we sell the most of these to is the marine industry. So it is fantastic for marine canvas, making boat tops, sail repairs. We actually do have a accessory we call the CUDA crank that goes on it as well, and it's a monster wheel that goes on the back of an oversized hand wheel that actually first of all allows you extra torque to sew through thicker fabrics, or if you have really dense fabrics like tooling leather or something like that, it gives you a little bit of extra torque, but it also allows you to operate it without power. So if there's any sailors listening right now, what is very common for them to do is they will get the Barracuda, they'll get the CUDA crank, and they will take it with them on a sailing journey across a large body of water. And then if they get a rip in their sail and they can't plug into power, they can repair the sail on the go. So it's a very versatile, it's a workhorse. It's a fantastic machine. Again, not for light fabrics, but for anything medium to heavy, it's fantastic for. And again, it's a zigzag. You can also do straight stitch on it, and again, it has that walking foot feature. We sell the Barracuda on its own. I mentioned the CUDA crank, which is an accessory for it. We also have what we call our Craftsman kit. And if you get the Barracuda with the Craftsman kit, it comes with its own plywood carrying case that doubles as like a mini table that it sits right inside to give you a bit more of a sewing surface. And it also comes with a magnetic ÜberLight that you can just put right onto it and then illuminate your work as well.
Oh, I love this machine. And we also sell a ton of these as well to many different users. We had someone comment, oh, this would be great for bags. Yeah, if you have a flatbed table, you could get it without the Craftsman kit, but I would definitely suggest getting that case that it comes in, because the bottom of it is for flatbed sewing, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, you have your surface on the machine here, but it's only about, I'm guessing about 7 inches or so. So if you want more than that, the CUDA case, I think it more than doubles it.
Okay, great. Jane asks, is it high shank or low shank?
High shank or low shank? So I'm not quite sure.
I think, well, it's the distance between the foot screw and the needle plate. And then
so you want to know like how much material you can fit underneath it?
It's like the kind of foot that's on the machine. It's like if it's a higher foot, then it's a high shank. If it's a 1/2 inch or lower from the foot screw to the
yeah, it would be low shank then.
Okay, great.
You can sew up to 8 millimeters thick of fabric.
Great, and that's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And the fact that this is a great option for people who want to do small jobs but don't want to invest fully in a fully industrial machine, which like you guys also manufacture.
Yes, we do.
With a like separate motor table stand, it's 200 pounds. This is very portable, and it gives you the ability to sew through thicker material.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking like all leather. Marilyn's asking 4 stitches per inch is basting, but so that's the stitch length of it, right?
Yeah, it's adjustable. I think it's 0 to 6 millimeters is what you can adjust the stitch length for.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Let's see.
You can adjust the stitch length. You can adjust the stitch width if you're doing zigzag, anywhere from 0 to 5 millimeters. It's got a reverse lever as well, so you can sew in reverse if you need to, or if you're doing a quick tack at the end. You can adjust the needle position, so whether it if you want it centered, that's fine for your zigzag, or you can have it skewed to the left or skewed to the right. It's got a number of cool features like that. It's got a bobbin winder on it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, we're getting so many ideas from our watchers. Sewing patches on thick jackets, Rhonda said. Fixing farmer coveralls and heavy canvases. From Carolyn. Jennifer says, great machine. Brenda says, I really need that Barracuda. I have a greenhouse to repair and it looks daunting. I can't imagine what type of material. I guess it's a pretty thick canvas, right?
I would assume it was some kind of canvas, yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. And Brenda said, Jill asks a good question. Hey, Jill. Can the foot be changed?
We have so it comes with a zipper foot. If you need that, you can change the foot to a zipper foot. We also have a soft leather foot and a welting foot available for it, but that is it. So it's not a fully domestic machine that you're probably used to, where you can swap the foot out for whatever you need. Again, so for those domestic sewers of you that are out there, the main difference between domestic sewing and industrial sewing is that domestic machines are often made to be kind of a jack of all trades, where you can swap out the feet, you can do all kinds of different functions. Industrial machines are generally, depending on what you get, generally less expensive, which probably surprises a few people. But the reason is because they're made to do one thing, pretty much one thing only, and do that one thing really, really well. The Barracuda is somewhere in the middle, where it's kind of a crossover from domestic to commercial. So it does have the straight stitch as well as zigzag ability, and it does have a few feet you can change out, but it wouldn't be to the same extent that you can do with a domestic machine.
Oh my gosh. And you said that this machine is you know, a lot lower price than what you would pay for a, you know, a home sewing machine. $7.99 is a fantastic price to have a machine that can sew through all of those layers when you need to, and not put your, you know, home machine at risk of needing a repair.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh. Okay. Cheryl Squirrel says, I could use that industrial machine right now for all the bags that I'm making.
Perfect. Well, you know where to find it.
Yes, yes. All right. So let's see what's next. We have the 2000 FR.
Right, the 2000 FR fabric cutter. I'm really excited to present this. This is another fantastic machine that I think is a very much a game changer. So yeah, with the 2000 FR, it's basically a powered rotary cutter. So for those of you out there who are using manual rotary cutters, I think you will really appreciate this machine. Right now, I'm sure you know, when you're having to cut a lot of material using a manual method, over time you can get you know, fatigue in your shoulder, you can get fatigue in your arm, and you know, really over time you can actually develop pain and other issues, right? Whereas with this 2000 FR rotary cutter, this thing cuts through fabric like butter. You know what? Rather than me telling you about that, let me just show you what it can do. All right. So to turn on the 2000 FR cutter, just turn on the power switch, and then you hit the speed twice. So the 2000 FR comes with 5 different speed settings. 600 RPM is the current setting, all the way up to 1400 RPM. So here I'll just show you the different. That's one higher, one more, and there we go. So let me show you how it cuts.
So this is tooling leather.
This is really heavy duty, and it just goes right through. I mean, it's like it is effortless. It is truly effortless.
Wow. Wow. That machine is phenomenal. And the fact that you can use it cordless makes it so versatile for everybody. And you can, that thickness is crazy. How much fabric again can you fit in there?
Yeah, so the maximum clearance for this cutter is 1 inch. So it is quite high. It is, yeah. It is.
Wow.
So if anyone's doing kits or anything like that, you're cutting through tons of squares, like you can just layer them up like crazy and cut them all at once.
Oh my goodness, this is a game changer, guys. Carrie, hey Carrie asks, how many layers of heavy denim or canvas do you think? I guess it depends on how thick the denim or canvas is, right?
Exactly. Whatever it is, up to 1 inch it'll cut through.
Oh my goodness. All right. Diane says, like a hot knife through butter. Yes.
Literally. Yeah, literally.
And Paula wants you to be careful with that thing. She said,
I will.
It's got a guard on the front to make
It does
sure
have a
Max
guard,
doesn't
yeah.
chop his fingers
That's
off.
right. Yeah.
oh, can we see that closer, the guard?
Absolutely, yeah. So right there, you can see. So this is the guard, and it moves up and down depending on the height of the material you're looking to cut.
Oh,
so it's really high,
wow.
you can put it there, and it's low. Yeah.
This,
for maximum safety.
This price point is amazing. Only $249 for like an industrial cutter up to 1 inch. My goodness. I mean, it's no brainer.
It comes with 2 batteries as well.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, so it comes with 2 lithium-ion batteries. The charge lasts for up to 2 hours, and to charge it takes about 2 hours. So literally, after you are finished with 1 battery, you just take it out, you charge it, and you have the new one in there, and you just rinse and repeat basically. So it's going to work for as long as you want it to work for.
Wow! Everybody, click the link in the description of this video. This is a must-have. Everybody can benefit from this product. We are all cutting fabric. Let me tell you, this is amazing.
Wow. Yeah, no, it really is. I just want to highlight 2 other really nice features. So one of them is actually a light that turns on. So you can see, it's a little hard to see through the screen, but there is a light that shows up there, so it makes it easier to figure out where you're cutting. And the second really nice feature, so it has this thin metal base plate here, and you can see underneath it, it's got these rollers. So what that means is that this thing will slide on basically any surface. So let me just show you. I don't know if you can really see here, but this is literally no effort on my part, and this thing is really just sliding. So it's an absolute pleasure to use, no matter what the surface is.
Oh my gosh. All right. So we got a lot of interest in this one. Jennifer says, bringing power tools into sewing. Yes, it's good to have the appropriate tools to do what you need to do so that you're not limited. Don't sew yourself short. Mary asked, do you use a rotary cutting mat with that? Is that required?
You could, but it is not required at all. So what you could, yeah. So again, we had this in Houston for the quilt market, and the amount of people who have been using rotary cutters since the beginning of time couldn't believe this thing. They were bringing over their own fabric and cutting layers of it, and just couldn't believe how easy it was. So it definitely is a game changer, and makes it just way faster, way easier, way less strain on your joints. And it's even got a built-in sharpener as well, so you can sharpen the blade as you go.
See, you just.
Oops, sorry. Here we go.
Yeah,
there you go.
Show that. I don't know if you can see right next to the camera, that feature right there. So you just hold down on that for a quick second. The stone is in contact with the blade, and it'll be operational again within 1 to 2 seconds, basically.
So that answers Brenda's question about can the blade be sharpened? Yes, it's already built in. So if you need to replace the blade, I'm guessing we could get replacement blades for that as well.
Yeah, I believe those are on Allbrands as well.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, sign me up for one of these. And I'm going to talk to you guys about this after the show, because I definitely want to show this at Houston Quilt Festival. Let's maybe chat about that. We've been doing business with Reliable for a very long time. They're a wonderful, reputable company. They make fantastic solutions for all sewers. This is just a must-have item. All right, so we have 2 more left, and then I'm going to give you guys all the coupons that you can use on these. So the next item is the 3200 TL.
Yes, okay, I'm really excited to be talking about our 3200 TL ÜberLight. Maybe it would help if I bring this into the camera.
Can you know this power? Do you want to show the video first?
Yeah, maybe let's do that. Yeah, actually, Barbara, if it's okay, if you can maybe just show the ÜberLight video. Perfect, thanks.
Hey, Dad. Dad, what?
Step back. That's better. I'm setting up my new ÜberLight flex. Look what you can do. Any shape you can imagine.
That's awesome.
It has USB connectivity.
That's awesome.
It has 9 different light settings.
Great. I forgot why I came in here.
Whatever the question is, the answer is no.
Dad, you were right about this lamp.
What else about going into my office?
Dad!
You can sew in the dark.
No. Dad! Honey, dinner's ready.
Better.
Step back.
I got you something. May I?
Thought you said the answer would be no.
I can never really say no to you. Now give me back my ÜberLight.
Dad, wait.
Okay.
That thing is fantastic. I love the commercial. That's so great.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, so this is the 3200 TL ÜberLight Flex. And so yes, it is an LED light, so it's not going to be emitting essentially any heat at all, really, which is really fantastic. And this is our model with a clamp. So you can see the clamp has a clearance of around 2 1/4 inches. So what's fantastic about the ÜberLight Flex is, you can probably guess, it can really flex. This thing is super durable, super sturdy and firm. So what's really great is that once you have this clamp down, it will stay put. It's not going to move at all. It's not going to change shape. I can put it into any kind of arbitrary, shape that I wanted to. It's going to stay put. The head also swivels, which is nice. So you can see here the head can swivel up to 270 degrees. So you can really make sure that it's going to be in the right orientation for your work. It also, so the ÜberLight Flex, as I mentioned, there's a clamp model. This is the 3200. We also have a model with the base, which I can talk about a bit later. But they both have the same light settings. So let me just get into that here. So the ÜberLight Flex has, let's move it over here a bit here, has 9 different light settings. So it has 3 different color temperatures. So the first one is natural light, so that you can kind of think of that as the light from the sun, essentially. We also have ultra bright, it's a little hard to see, but that's ultra bright light, as well as warm light. And warm light is really, for when you're trying to avoid eye strain, or say you want to use this as a lamp for reading right before bed, and you just want something that's a bit more warm and soft. It also has 3 different brightness modes. So you have low, medium, and high. Those are the 3 different brightness modes as well, for a total of 9 different light settings. Yeah, that's the ÜberLight. So I can say that we had originally made this light specifically for sewing, and it is a fantastic light for sewing. I mean, when you're looking for something that is just going to kind of highlight one particular area, this is the light for you. What we've also found, though, is that it is really fantastic just for anything where you need a dedicated task light. So, for example, we've had a lot of success in the high-end audio world where people are trying to illuminate their records, as well as in the miniature hobbyist community as well, where people are trying to paint miniatures under a one light source, basically. So yeah, that's the ÜberLight.
That is fantastic. I've seen the evolution of the ÜberLight over the years, and it just keeps getting better and better, and this is the best that I've seen. I love that that we could see it with the clamp and the base. Can you explain a little bit more about the different options that are available in colors and clamps?
Yeah,
things like that?
Absolutely, Barbara. So yeah, as you just saw, so this is the model with the base. This is the 4100 TL, and so basically, rather than a clamp as the bottom, it has a heavy metal base, and this thing is really sturdy. It's not going to go anywhere. So you can really contort the lamp however way you want. This thing is not going to move at all. Also, one thing. So yeah, so the light comes in either this white. It also comes in the black. Let me just quickly show that as well. Over here, this is the 3200 TL in the black. And one other thing that I want to note is that the ÜberLight Flex, any of our models, comes with USB connectivity. So what that means is that if you don't have a wall outlet, you can actually just plug this into a USB socket, and you can power your light that way. So this is really fantastic. For example, if you're going on, let's say, a camping trip, there's no wall outlet, but you do have a laptop and you want a light, you can actually just plug this right into your laptop, and it will work.
That's awesome, because a lot of the sewing machines that we sell, actually, some of them have USB ports that allow like the power out on it. I know the Brother Luminaire does, and I would definitely plug that into my laptop as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. And just to clarify your question there, Barbara, so we have the 2 different models, the clamp and the base. and they're both available in either white or black. So 4 models total.
That's great. Carolyn asks, is it also battery operated?
That's a great question. No, the ÜberLight Flex, you have to either plug it into a wall outlet or through the USB.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
And Sheila asks, how long is the cord on the?
Yeah, great question.
Maybe if we can just see it.
Yeah. Do you want to stretch it out?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to put it there, so I can just show you the cord actually while Joe gets the exact number. But this thing is pretty long. So my wingspan is, I don't know, about 6 feet or.
It's 6 feet.
Yeah, so it's going to be about 6 feet. Yeah.
Oh, great. So you must be about 6 feet tall, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Almost.
That's good to know. All right, we have a lot of folks that are saying that they want this. So if you do, go ahead and click the link in the description of this video and stay tuned to the end because we do have some coupons on our website. And if you haven't yet, please comment #Allbrands in the comment section, and I'll be doing a giveaway for an allbrands.com e-gift card at the end of this presentation. So we have one more to go. And this is just a taste of the amazing products that Reliable creates, but it looks like it's the 4100 TL.
Yeah, so Max actually kind of lumped those two together. Sorry, Barbara.
Oh, I'm sorry.
This is the 4100.
That's the base one.
Yeah. But actually, if we just have a few, just one more quick minute, I might as well point out one more important feature on the 3200. I apologize for going back and forth here. But I just wanted to mention, actually, with this clamp, I know some folks might be thinking, oh, you know what, I want this model, but my table or whatever has a slanted edge. Well, there's actually no worries there because the clamp, the base part here actually can swivel. So it actually can accommodate tables with an angled edge. So yeah, I just want to point that out.
Okay, so the one that Max is holding now is the 3200 TL with the clamp. That's $59.99. If you're interested in the one with the rounded base on the table, that one is $89.99, and that one has. How heavy is the base on that one? It needs to be heavy to.
It's got some weight to it. I want to say it's probably about 4 or 5 pounds.
Yeah, it's about that. So the net weight is 6.8 for the whole thing. So I would imagine.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, the base is probably close to 6 pounds of that. I would guess.
Oh my gosh! Thank you guys for showing us these amazing products that Reliable makes and that allbrands.com sells on our website. If you guys are not aware, we have coupons that you could use on any one of these products. It is listed on the screen here. If you need any support, you can always contact us. Our phone number is 1-800-739-7374. We also have an 866 number, 866-255-2726. Either one of those numbers, you can get a representative who can help you. We also have chat on our website. And yeah, so I hope that you saw something that you liked today. And let me go and see if we have any questions.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right.
We're happy to answer anything we missed. And like you were saying, Barbara, that we've got lots more stuff listed on Allbrands. So feel free to check it out. And, we're happy to answer any questions you might have.
Okay, cool. So let's see. Going back to the water in the irons, if you get distilled water back into the jug when emptying it, can you get distilled water back into the jug, or do you recommend not using it again?
My recommendation would be probably don't put it in the jug. Like if you bought a jug of distilled water, I wouldn't pour it back in that jug. But if you want to keep it in like a separate container, I'd say you could use it again, but I wouldn't want to risk the contamination of your whole jug of distilled.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Here's one from Paula. She asks, when you empty an iron, there's still a small amount in the tank. She leaves the cap open. Is there any way to get it all out, or does it matter?
Sounds like you take good care of your irons, Paula. I appreciate that. If it's just a tiny little bit, last couple of drops, then that's perfect. I guess something I didn't say earlier, if you can't, for whatever reason, you can't use distilled water, even if you mix half tap, half distilled better than just tap. But if you empty it out at the end, then that's really what's going to prevent the scale buildup from sitting there and building up. So it's always a great idea to empty your iron and just get as much out of as you can. And then, yes, if you leave the top open, then there's a chance that that little bit will evaporate as well.
All right. And Trisha asks, how much does it weigh? And this was for the rotary cutter.
Oh, for the rotary cutter. It's pretty light. I think it's, I'm going to guess 3 pounds or 2, maybe.
3.3.
3.3.
Yeah.
Great. All right. And that's the main amount of questions. I know that we're coming towards the end of our broadcast today, so we do have a giveaway. I'm going to bring that up, and here it is. Let's see. And let's pick our winner. Our winner is, drum roll.
Oh.
Sarah Murphy.
Sarah. Hey! Congratulations, Sarah.
Nice. Congrats, Sarah. Please email me at events@allbrands.com with your name, number, and address to claim your allbrands.com $50 e-gift card. And yeah, thanks guys for showing us a taste of all the amazing products that Reliable.
Yeah, you're most welcome, Barbara, and thank you everybody for spending time with us. We appreciate it.
Much appreciated.
All right, well, we'll see you. I'll see you guys watching next Thursday at 3:30. We'll be with Deborah Jones. She'll be showing exquisite stabilizers and needles, so don't miss out on that. And I'm going to talk to you guys about maybe getting some products in for shows after this, so stay on with me if you could.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Bye, everyone. Have a great day.
Take care.